This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, May 14th. Please stand for our invocation led by Pastor John C. George, Episcopal Church of the Good Shepherd, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning, members of the City Council.
Good morning. Good morning.
The President and other members, Mayor of the City, his staff, and all here present. Let us bow our heads as we offer prayers to God for a fruitful council session today. Let us pray. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in the city your spirit of wisdom, charity, love, and justice, that with steadfast thoughts and purpose, they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people in this city, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Vice President Manzi.
Here.
Councilmember Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Small.
Here.
Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Councilmember Gregory.
Here.
Statement of rules.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The rules of the council in this particular meeting are as follows. We'd first ask that you would turn off or silence all of your electronic devices upon entering the council meeting. Any person desiring to address the council must sign in indicating the resolution, ordinance, appeal, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, we ask that you clearly state on record both your name and your address. Any person desiring to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must contact the city clerk's office on the Thursday preceding the Tuesday in which you'd like to speak before 2 o'clock. Your subject must be pertinent or germane to city or mobile business. Anyone who hadn't given that proper notice to the clerk's office will not be allowed to address the council. All speakers are granted 5 minutes in which to make your presentation. A bell will sound to indicate the end of 4 minutes. The 1 minute will remain for summarizing. When the second bell tolls, that's an indication that you need to be concluding your speech and sitting down. In addressing the council, we ask that there be no personal address to any one particular individual. All statements are to be made to myself, who serves as chair, and if there's any council member who wishes to respond, they'll have that opportunity. To maintain decorum, we ask that there be no undue public outcry or applause during the course of today's meeting. Those are the council, and we are appreciative of your interest in local government. Madam City Clerk.
Approval of minutes of May 7th.
So move.
Second.
From properly moved to second discussion. If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Adoption of the agenda.
So move.
Mr. Chair,
Mrs. Gregory?
as we adopt the agenda, I would like to move Resolution 60-475 to the top of the agenda.
Second.
Been properly moved to second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That item is moved to the top of the agenda.
Then we have to vote on the agenda.
Is there?
Move the adoption of the agenda as amended.
Second.
Properly moved to second. Any discussion? Not all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Yes, ma'am.
Resolution, Resolution 60, we need a motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration
I think.
of Resolution 6475.
So move.
Is there a second?
A motion.
Second.
Okay.
Properly second, any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 6065, and give Broadcast Drive and Television Ave the honorary name of Mel Showers Drive and Mel Showers Avenue.
So moved.
We done moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, any discussion?
No.
If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. We're now in the capable hands of Ms. Gregory.
So that was a unanimous vote, correct?
100%.
Mel, how many times have you covered a city meeting where you had a unanimous vote like this and big smiles on everybody's faces?
Everybody is smiling.
Well, we have a very special resolution for you today. I think you just heard it. We are naming in your honor both Broadcast Drive. I'm getting choked up in this. We are naming it in your Broadcast Drive and Television Avenue. So from now on, a sign like this will be under the other street sign. So it will be honorary Mel Showers Drive and honorary Mel Showers Avenue.
Wow.
From now, and I have the official resolution for you here. It's kind of long and drawn out, but it talks about Mel's career, because Mel, as you all know, has had a very distinguished career, not only at Channel 5, but in this entire community.
That's right.
You know, having had the pleasure of working with Mel, and I even got to co-anchor with him a few times on the evening newscast. Mel is the consummate professional. He always has been. And I love to tell people about, you know, you see him, he's very serious when he's on the air. But behind the scenes, as you all know, Mel is quite the jokester. And he just loved to tell jokes on everybody else. And a lot of times people told jokes about Mel. And the funny thing was, he kept a list of all of the jokes, the Mel jokes, the best of. And he would take them out and read, had the best time. So working with Mel has been a pleasure, you know, as one of your colleagues, and now I even get to represent him because he lives in a district.
All right.
So, Mel, if you want to say a few words, we'd be happy to, hear from you, of course.
Well, you say that you were a little choked up. I am choked up. This is quite a surprise, quite an honor. I want to thank all of you for this, and Gina, we do miss you at WKRG. But what she's talking about is I have maintained over the years an insult file. All of the best jokes that have been on me, I have collected them. And wow. there are great ones in there, believe me. She's on the list. Let's see, one of my very special notes, I'll give you just a few minutes, is one of our directors, the name is Sue Mooney. She says to me, Mel, she says, you've been collecting that file there. Am I in there? I said, are you in there? My goodness, yes. Randy Wood, one of our reporters back in the day, he was in Mississippi, and he came in one afternoon, and I'm at my desk patting my hair like this. And he says, Mel, he says, I was just talking to a lady the other day about your wig. And I said, my wig? I said, this is not a wig. And Sue Mooney, the director, she said, yeah, Randy, you think you had good money to pay for a wig? He'd buy one that looked like that? I have many, many more.
That's a good one.
I want to thank all of you so very, very much. This means so much to me. For those of you who are from the bottom, which is where I grew up in Mobile.
Yes, sir.
In the bottom. And to think that a boy from the bottom has reached a point where he gets a street named after him.
That's a blessing.
It touches me deeply. I mean, my wife and my daughter, I lost them a few years ago. I lost them exactly 1 year apart. One died in January of 2011, that dreaded cancer. One died in January 2012. My mother, my father, they're all deceased. I have an older sister who just recently passed. She's a salutatorian of her class, by the way. She's a very brilliant woman. She died, and she's an excellent mother. And I wish that they all could be here to see the boy from the bottom be honored in this way. I thank you all so very, very much. Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
And Mel, very soon, we will have city crews that will come out to install them, so it'll be another opportunity to, see your name up there on those street signs.
Yeah.
So congratulations on your retirement. We hate to see you go, but we certainly wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Gina. Again, we miss you, Chapter.
So, how's everybody this morning? Great. Great. It's a happy day in the city of Mobile, and I have the honor of reading a proclamation for Mel, and then we'll give Mel some instructions after that. And the proclamation reads, whereas Melvin J. Showers, one of our best-known and local journalists, is retiring from regularly scheduled newscasts after almost 50 years at WKRG-TV, and whereas Mel Showers joined the news team at local station WKRG-TV in 1969, where he first worked as a reporter covering the police, the school board, and local government. He was often the first individual on the scene of large news stories. Among the major stories he covered were Hurricane Frederick in 1979 and the KKK lynching of Michael Donnell in Mobile in 1981. He was inducted into Alabama's Broadcast Hall of Fame in 2015. And whereas Mel is the first African American to be named full-time anchor of a nightly newscast in the Mobile, Pensacola TV market. While after being named anchor, he initially received hate mail, but it did not take long for it to turn into fan mail, as he quickly solidified his reputation as a noted and trusted newsman. And whereas Mel is a Mobile native, growing up in the community known as the Boston's, he attended Owen Elementary School and is a graduate of Bishop State Community College. After graduating high school, he joined the United States Air Force, where he served as a military intelligence analyst in the Far East and the Middle East, the territories. And whereas, while no longer anchoring the evening newscast, he will continue to contribute to WKRG News 5 as anchor emeritus with occasional special reports and providing his unique perspective on events that impacting the Gulf Coast, which we will all look forward to. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor of the city of Mobile, Alabama, that the month of May 2019 be designated as Mel Showers Month in the city of Mobile in honor of his distinguished service done in the city of Mobile, Alabama, this 14th day of May 2019. Mayor William S. Stimson, Mayor. Mel, if you could join me. So, first I'll present this proclamation. You can stay seated for a moment. But this is the proclamation, so congratulations. But with something like that, there's other things that are very important, and the new name tag reads Mayor Mel Shower. We're going to put that right there. And y'all will notice that I, too, think Mel will be a great mayor. This is a great day for you to be the mayor. And I think there's a lot of things that you can do that I'll call upon you, to ask you, you weigh in, you change the city in the way you want, okay? We'll put it out afterwards. But I'll say this, that if you read the announcements for today as your first official act as mayor, it would be greatly appreciated. All right.
I'd like to first of all say I had nothing to do with this. I do not want to take your job. Well, the new Mobile Parks and Recreation Summer Guide 2019 has launched, full of fun activities for adults and children alike. There's something for everyone this summer. Make sure you're following the City of Mobile and Mobile Parks and Recreation pages on Facebook to get the latest updates. Also, mark your calendars July 4th celebration at Cooper Riverside Park. This year's Independence Day celebrations will take place at Cooper Riverside Park downtown, complete with live music, outdoor family fun, and more. The Mobile Symphonic Pops Band will play at 7 p.m., and fireworks will begin at 9 p.m. sharp. Share your voice with MPD Citizen Satisfaction Survey. All citizens are invited to participate in Mobile Police Department's Citizen Satisfaction Survey, which provides MPD with a valuable and actionable insight into your day-to-day safety needs and priorities. Thank you all again. I appreciate it. You don't know what this day means to me. I deal with words all the time, but words can't describe how I feel now. Thank you to the City Council. Thank you to the Mayor. And thanks to all my family, friends, colleagues, co-workers. You've all been so swell for this last month. I will miss each and every one of you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Hey, Mel, as mayor, honorary mayor, some of your colleagues up top wanted to know if, as one of your first acts as mayor, if you would go ahead and approve resurfacing for the street that leads into the TV station and the parking lot.
I certainly hope that I get the approval of all of the council members and the mayor, because that's desperately needed.
No.
Thank you.
Spoken like a true mayor.
Hold on now, if he's gonna do that, he needs to close all of the ditches, the 44 ditches in front of the garden.
You haven't been the mayor but for about a minute, and you see what happens.
Well, before and until the mayor has pressing city business that he may have to attend to, we want to get the council members to come down and join Mel for some photos.
Okay.
Is he coming here?
No, we're going to go. He's sitting in his mayoral seat.
Okay.
Okay, so while we're getting ready, I would just like for the record show that the bottom did not prevent Mayor from rising to the top of his profession as a TV anchorman. He may have come from the bottom, but he went to the top.
Oh, wow, yeah, it's much better up there. Oh, yeah, right. So, this is a notice that they're going to fix the cost of $2,000 to secure this. They've already done it. Yes. Oh,
Or you could give all the city employees a raise, Mel.
Just saying.
Let's give him another big round. Anyone else that would like to have any comments for our honoree today, for this month, rather? Well, I'd just like to say to Mr. Showers that I've had the privilege of the last 36 years watching you day in and day out. You've always done a standing job, and as an African American, to see a gentleman who comes from my community to ascend to the heights that you've had the opportunity to ascend to, but not lose that common touch. I can remember at Maryville Austin School in the 5th grade, you came and was a speaker at one of our programs, and I've just been an admirer of yours since that time. So I'm appreciative to my colleague, Ms. Gregory, to the mayor's office for assembling all of this. We normally dedicate one street, but they have 2 streets. That is absolutely unique. To have one day is an honor, but to have an entire month, I think you deserve all and much, much, much more. Thank God for you. Let's give him another big round. That's it.
Mayor, do you have further communications? Okay. Appeals, we have appeal of Mike Rogers, Port Light LLC concerning the ARB's denial of the application regarding new construction at 405 Chatham Street.
Move to table.
Second.
Robert, motion is second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The item is tabled.
We have a request for a waive of the noise ordinance on June 1st on Clemente Court, May 25th, 26th, and 27th on Burtonwood Drive.
So move.
Properly motion is second. Any discussion? Not all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Public hearings, today is a public hearing to fix costs for securing structures and fixing costs for demolition of structures at...
Well, if we want to, those who are here with our honoree, if y'all have to leave, we totally understand, and we'll give you a moment to exit on out. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I'm seeing you.
Public hearings, today is a public hearing to fix costs for securing structures and to fix costs for demolition of structures at 54 North Broad Street, 257 Ryland Street, 251 and a half Rylands Street, 950 Montlamar Drive, 2109 Gibson Street, 2062 Clinton Street, 2060 Clinton Street, 1313 Congress Street, 1012 New St. Francis Street, 2656 Pleasant Valley Road, 2536 Victory Avenue, 1338 Adams Street, and 911 Minor Street.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak during the public hearing process for any of these properties? I saw one hand. Let's, three gentlemen here, and then we'll come here with, yes, sir, come on down. I see three hands, so you all are welcome. We'll come to you next, and then we'll come up to you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here on behalf of 2109 Gibson Street. I received a notification about the property some months ago.
We need your name, your address for the record, sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
Alonzo McCants,
Yes, sir.
and my address is in reference to 2109 Gibson Street. I'm with Prime One Investments.
Now, is that your mailing address?
No, my mailing is 5857 Spyglass Drive, Mobile, Alabama 33618.
Yes, sir.
Proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I received notification about the property at 2109 Gibson Street, and I addressed the issue. I called the officer that sent the correspondent out, never received anything back from them. So I went and I addressed the issue. One day, I passed through my property and I seen a guy out with a truck, and he said that he was securing the property behalf for the city of Mobile. And I asked him, a question, how can you secure a property that's already secured? And my definition of being secured is when you deny access to the public. There's no broken windows, the door is boarded, the property is manicured, there's no overhang. However, he left the property, but when I got back to the property maybe a week later, the property was completely painted white. The front, they had placed boards along the top structure of the property, and I called the sign, and I asked the young lady, I said, how did this come about? She just said that for some reason, something about an ordinance, and I had to sit and I had to address the council about it. And they gave me a cost of $2,200 for the repairs that they've done. So, I mean, that's why I'm here addressing this issue.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, Mr. McKent's coming down. Mr. David Doffenbach is our Deputy Director over this particular city division. Mr. Doffenbach, if you could raise your hand. If you have any questions, concerns, relative to the procedure, Mr. Doffenbach would be your best resource. Mr. Doffenbach, if you don't mind, if you could connect with Mr. McCants, he'll be able to answer any questions that you might have today relative to this part.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And thank you for taking time to come in. Yes, ma'am. If you could give us your name and your address and the property in which you concerned.
Good morning. My name is Angela Peters. My mailing address is 515 Donald Street, Mobile, Alabama 36617. I'm here in reference to the property at 1313 Congress Street, Mobile, Alabama 36602.
Yes, ma'am.
I also have the same problem as the last gentleman. So this property I purchased on a tax lien. The property belongs to a Mr. Charlie Trawick, who died in 2011. When I found out about the property, I tried to take possession of the property through a tax lien because it was old Bexes, but people were living in the resident, including the person that the property had willed to. They were still living in the resident at that time. I tried to outright buy the property so I could take possession of the property immediately, but I was unable to do that, so I just paid the taxes. And when you pay the taxes, you can't take possession of a property. I received several correspondence from Mr. Gary Jackson concerning the property. We talked on several times about he wanted me to do work to the property, and I explained to him that I was not the rightful owner because I didn't have a deed at that time, and I wasn't able to take possession of the property, and the owner who it was willed to was still living in the property. I also have correspondence from the Mobile Police where it was drug activity going on in that property that they reached out to me because my name is on the taxes. I reached out to Mobile Police Department on several occasions to have them to come out to the property to try to do something about the problem, about the people loitering around the property, the things that they was throwing. Even though I didn't have possession of the property, I cleaned the property up several times, boarded it up several times, only to have the people to come back and go back into the property. So at some point in time, they came out and they reboarded the property. They painted it white. Only on the front, it's a 4 little apartments. So the front of the apartment on both sides, they painted it white. They did not do that on the sides, and they put some boards up. I do have pictures of what was done, and some of the boards are already back off from where they put on there. Now they want to charge $2,000 for this work that they did. I don't feel that it was worth $2,000 worth of work, but also I've done everything that I can to reach out to everyone, including, like I said, Mr. Jackson on several occasions, to let him know that I didn't own the property. It wasn't mine, even though my name is on the taxes. I gave him the whole history. I have all the paperwork where I did reach out to try to outright buy the property so I could move forward, and I wasn't able to do that. So I've done everything that I could. I've called the police department several times. I've ran people off myself the property several times. This area is a drug area. A lot of homeless people live going in and out the properties, and I just want to know what it is I'm supposed to do. Because I've done everything that I know to do. Even when the property wasn't mine, I tried to secure it on several occasions. And even with them going out securing it, it's back open again.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Ms. Pierce, we certainly appreciate your interest. I represent this area, 1313 Congress, and your assessment is certainly my assessment. And we're certainly making inroads in trying to improve that area of our district. Mr. Doffenbach, have you ever had communication with Mr. Doffenbach?
No, the only person I talked to was Mr. Gary Jackson.
Well, I think you'll find Mr. Doffenbach to be a wealth of information. If you could, again, raise your hand, Mr. Doffenbach. If you could connect with Ms. Pierce, then I'm sure he's going to be able to answer questions you might have and work with you to come up with the solution.
And I also want to say this, I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
The cost that they are giving to citizens is outrageous for the work that they're doing. I know that they are contracting this work out to different people, but for the amount of work that they're doing, these costs are outrageous. I'm a law-abiding citizen who pay my taxes, and this is outrageous, $2,000 for the work that they did, and I do have pictures of what they did.
Well, and I would bring that concern up to Mr. Doffenbach as well, as it's his office that attaches these fees. And I'm certain he's going to be willing to listen, see how we can move forward progressively.
Okay, I really appreciate this.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for your interest in this community.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anyone else that would like? Yes, sir. Come on down.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Name is Baron Barnes, 2062 Clinton Street. And I'm calling about the house. Got a letter saying y'all tore the house down and everything. But the letter, I ain't get no letter. The letter was going to my son. And then when I found out about it, I went out there, the house was tore down and everything. So when I asked my son about it, so we ain't speaking. So I told him to find the letter, let me bring the letter to me, so I can bring it to y'all. And so when I went down there to the city inspector office to get a permit, they gave me a permit one time to do the roof on it. So I had to go in the hospital to have my knee operated on. When I came back out the hospital, I went back down there to get a permit. They wouldn't give me that. So the lady told me the house is on for getting torn down. I said, well, who you sending it to? Talking about LeBaron A. Bond. I said, no, that's my son. And then this letter I got now, it had LeBaron Bonds on it. So what I got supposed to do now is got for $1,600. So I want to know supposed to do about that?
Again, thank you for coming down today, and we have in attendance the subject matter expert, Mr. David Doffenbach. Mr. Doffenbach, will you raise your hand, please? Yeah, if you don't mind, connect with Mr. Doffenbach. He's going to be able to answer those questions. He's got all the information, and he'll be, I think, a wealth of knowledge in helping you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for coming down today. Anyone else that would like to speak in the public hearings for properties referenced by our city clerk? If not, our public hearings are closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Don Commode.
Don Co, 32458 Wildflower Trail, Spanish for it, Executive Director at the Explorium. Good morning.
Good morning.
Vice President Manzi, City Council, Mayor, staff, everybody. Just kind of giving you a brief update of what's going on. On behalf of myself, my staff, and my Explorium Board of Trustees, I want to thank all of you for the support for Genghis Khan exhibit. It opened in January enthusiastically to a very large audience, and during its 93 run, reached more than 60,000 guests from 45 states, 12 countries, including Canada, China, Russia, UK, France, Philippines, North and South Korea. That one kind of shocked me. Germany, Australia, Denmark, and Nepal. And we actually did 43% of our annual attendance in 93 days. This actually allowed us to more than double last year's attendance revenue, which was phenomenal for the Explorium. It was a huge showing. And although Khan is gone, I want you to know that our momentum has not stopped. This summer, we will be offering for our guests a fantastic exhibit called Science Fiction, Science Future, and an incredible film called Power of Dogs, thanks to the support of Mobile County District 2. The exhibit will take you through augmented reality, full-body experiences, robots, holograms, everything about how science fiction comes to life in real day. But more importantly, Superpower Dogs highlights the life-saving superpowers and extraordinary bravery of some of the world's most amazing dogs. The film takes you around the globe to meet remarkable dogs that save lives and discover the power bond they share with human partners. In conjunction with the movie, we'll be holding 3 pet adoptions. We will also be awarding some of our local canine heroes and rewarding them as well. But the movie also marks the end of an era. It will be the last 1570 film that we will be showing in our Dome Theater. Because of Porch Creek's generous commitment, in August, we will begin the massive overhaul and digital upgrade of our Dome Theater. With cutting-edge digital technology and a top-to-bottom renovation, our viewers will experience the highest quality Dome Theater system in the world. Mobile will then be the home of the most advanced digital system ever, because this system has not been installed anywhere else. We'll be the first to house it. It is going to be a phenomenal experience. We've already had several meetings with the organizations and the company. This is an exciting moment for us. We have 3 Dome Theaters in this state. We are the second to convert, and our system is one that no one has even touched before, and it's brand new. So we're very, very excited about this. The grand reopening of the theater will be in the fall this year. We're hoping the end of October. That's our projected date. Also, it's been 10 years since dinosaurs have roamed the Explorium in downtown Mobile. I don't know if you guys remember when Dinosaurs Downtown was here back in 2009. It's a huge undertaking, and back then they were all pneumatic, which means we had to have a big compressor to run it off the property. We had to put them outside because it was so noisy. Technology has changed, and we are happy to say that in spring of 2020, dinosaurs will again roam the halls and the building of the Explorium. We are bringing in 13 animatronic dinosaurs with dinosaurs around the world, along with a brand new digital dinosaur film that we'll be showing in our new digital theater. The largest dinosaur will be in the atrium, 45 feet long and 16 feet high. We'll be bringing more to you about that later. And last but not least, I want to announce that when we brought Con to Mobile, one of the things I had stated that it was going to be a return to international exhibits, and I have not forgotten that promise. I'm excited to say that we are in negotiations for our next international exhibition. It's one that has close ties to the city of Mobile. We plan and we hope to bring this exhibition to the Explorium in 22. I don't want to share too much more right now because we are in negotiations, but we have spoken with Lee Santel with Alabama Tourism, and he is extremely excited and hopes that I do go this route. So I hope to bring more to you later, and maybe by the end of this month I'll have more information.
Great.
And thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Day?
Mr. Kamoth, thank you for your report. I wanted to let you know that last month I took my 2.5-year-old grandson down there to go to the Con exhibit, and while he was interested in it, he seemed to be primarily interested and excited about your permanent exhibit on the human body. and so we ended up spending much more time in the permanent exhibit than we did in the temporary exhibit, and so the permanent exhibits are not diminished. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, and we are in the process of actually refurbishing that area. We've done, as you saw, a portion in Mission Nutrition, and we're actually working on other parts of it. We've opened up a brand new STEM lab, and there's a lot more coming. Just unfortunately, 5 minutes isn't enough time to give you everything that's going on at the Explorium, but we're very excited. And thank you again for all your support. It did help us out tremendously.
Thank you.
I would like to say that I had an opportunity to see the Con exhibit. I had a group with me from Philadelphia, and they were very excited too. But is it not true? And this is for the benefit of the listening audience. Is that there are only 21 IMAX theaters in the nation?
There are 21 in the U.S.
In the U.S.
There's about 50 in the world. We were, if I remember correctly, and I'm not sure if anybody in City Council really knows for sure, I want to say we were the third that was built in the U.S. We were the actual third dome to be built here. So we were early construction, and that was the reason why Mike Sullivan became the executive director. He actually was with IMAX and one of the original developers of the dome system. We've had the same equipment for 20 years. And what's unique about it is, if you think about it, if you look at a film camera, they don't change much. But after 20 years, they finally went digital. One thing I will say is that not only will we be able to change the digital, but as digital technology changes, our upgrades will be simpler because it's strictly modular. But we are now one of maybe 6 in the U.S. that are converting to digital. Others are following, and we're very proud to say that we will own the equipment and we will own the brand. And that's something that's unique and different as well. We're not leasing the equipment, so we're making a positive statement, not just for the city, but for the Explorium as well. But you are right, we're the only state to have multiple dome theaters at that as well.
And I wanted to make sure that the public, the general public, understood that, understand that we are beyond with this. I mean, we are ahead of most cities, and in fact, the group from Philadelphia, they were just taken. We went in the IMAX to watch the Bears, and they were just wiped out. To know that they had to come all the way to Mobile, Alabama, to see something like that, they were amazed.
Thank you. And you're right. Most people don't realize that if you want to go to a dome theater in the Gulf Coast, you're either going to go all the way to Houston or you're going to go all the way to Orlando. Because there's nothing closer to us than that. We're the only one on the Gulf Coast, and we're still proud of that, and we're still operating. There are others that are shutting down, and we're choosing to convert because film is becoming obsolete. But it's a great joint venture with Porch Creek. We are very, very excited, and don't worry, you will all be invited to the grand opening. And I say that Superpowered Dogs is the last film. Please take the time to see it. This is a very heartfelt, emotional film, and if any of you saw Jerusalem when I brought the film Jerusalem here, it's done by the same producer. It's very heartfelt. But the last film showing in the theater actually won't be. That the last film on that last weekend will be Everest, because it was the first film that we ever showed in the new theater. So the very last film to go through that machine will be the one that went through first. and that was reversed by the McGill reframe.
Wonderful.
Thank you all.
Well, we certainly appreciate this update, and glad to have this new amenity coming, and I'm glad to have it right in the heart of District 2. Appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Reggie Hill regarding Resolution 09444.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, Mayor Stimson, citizens and stakeholders of Mobile, good morning. Reggie Hill, 1007 Center Street. Before I begin, I'd like to say regards as well to Mr. Mel Showers and for his commitment to the city. And I'd like to echo the sentiments of the chairman and the representative from District 1 in recognizing coming from the bottom and going to the top of your field is an amazing feat, and to see that in this community for someone that looks like us, that is an inspiration. So I want to send my regards to him. I rise today to speak on Resolution 09444. Last week I pointed out some numbers, and I hope that the mayor and the chairman of the finance committee will be able to go back and review some of that information so we don't prolong that today. We were able to hear a pretty decent dialogue this morning regarding this, and as we move forward, I also want to commend those individuals who are looking into the legal parameters of this particular resolution, but I want to look at the idea of not steering away from utilizing the resources to be used in the best capacity. I don't think we should steer away from giving raises. I do not think that. When the public safety issue came to the table just a short while ago, I was, for the record, one of the only citizens that wasn't employed by the police department or by the city to come and speak up for that raise to be put in place. So it's not that we don't want to reward workers and city employees for the diligence that they have in committing to improve the quality of life in our city, but it's how we're going to allocate those resources. Last week, the city attorney brought up the idea that the potential 45% that was going directly towards public safety was because of the idea of the number of employees that are staff and their comparison to the rest of the employees that are in the city. So that's extremely understandable. But there are other departments looking at improving and using the salaries to not only improve or to show that we appreciate what they're doing to improve our communities, but to put it in places where we can actually make the improvements that we're wanting for the long. So we want something to be improved for quality of safety, quality of life. Why aren't we investing some of those resources into the areas of the people who work with that daily outside of having to be reactive? What does that mean? If we have police officers that come in and they're having to react to what's going on, continuously having to create solutions to prevent things, that's not happening. Whereas if we look at Parks and Recs, public services, these things that we see are very vital towards preventing that type of mindset from even coming into place. If we can put additional funding in those areas, we can see where some of those issues will be eradicated so that we don't have to put so much on public safety. Also moving forward, I believe that if we're able to find that we have an additional amount of resources, particularly $1.6 million, we should be looking as well how we can put them towards issues that we see within the community, particularly with the number of entities and agencies that want to come in. We learned today, it was said that it was going to take community members to get involved as well. It can't just be on city workers. It can't just be on council members. It can't just be on administration. It can't just be on public safety officials. If we're going to have city members, citizens of the city to come in, they're going to have the resource to be able to do that. Last week, I proposed an idea of this increasing $193,587 to performance contracts. $193,000. That's it. We have an additional surplus, and this is just what's been presented. So there's no telling how many other additional resources are available. But with the 1.6 that have been presented, $193,000 with an average, when we see with most organizations getting less than $25,000 on performance contracts, that would allow so many more people to be able to come to the table and help with this issue. So I understand that this is a very sensitive matter because people deserve to have pay raise. I agree with that. And if we've seen it somewhere else already done. And we have the resources to help out other departments, like something the council put on the agenda for our public service workers. We should be able to move in that direction as well. So I hope that you will be able to consider the potential of these ideas, also getting ready to look towards the budget for the next fiscal year, that it's only $193,000, and we can increase performance contracts to $5 million. And I believe that we have people who are diligently working in the community to stop some of the issues we're seeing. We wouldn't have a lot of problems we have to face today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your time and for the opportunity to speak.
Yes, sir.
Ordinance is held over. 30018, amend Section 30-13A and B of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Mobile, Alabama to expand the boundaries of the entertainment districts.
So move.
Second.
Problem, motion second, any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
Resolutions held over. 09444, authorized budget amendment to increase appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and second, any discussion?
Yes,
Mrs. Rich?
thank you. I'd like to make a motion to amend the resolution to add the following. On page 1 in paragraph 7, it should read, increase the personnel line items for the following departmental expenditures budgets, and they are all listed in the paperwork you're holding. And then on page 3, I would like to add this as also part of the amendment. There should be a paragraph that reads, the additional appropriations provided for in this resolution shall only be used to fund a 2.5% cost of living increase for all merit system employees as approved by the Mobile County Personnel Board and shall not be used for any other purpose. Need a second?
Is there, we have a motion to that effect. Is there a second?
Second.
Been properly motion is second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis?
I'm going to oppose this amendment simply because I think all of the employees of the, well, let me start at the beginning. The city of Mobile, tremendous progress over the last 5 years in a number of different ways. Our infrastructure is being improved. Our financial condition is significantly improved. And this is a result, among other reasons, by all of our city employees from top to bottom, working hard and taking on more responsibility. And so I think if we're going to provide cost of living raises, those raises ought to be provided to every single one of our city employees and not just one group. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Thank you. I understand sentiments of my colleague from District 5, and I too think that all city employees have indeed stepped up to the plate and have done an outstanding job. However, in light of a lawsuit that was initiated by the administration, by the mayor against this council, there is a liability to our mediation, which is ongoing at this point, if we add the employees that are in what we call Section 40 or at-will employees. It's unfortunate that we're in a legal tangle over this. This did not initiate it, and I wish that I could support Mr. Dave's understanding of doing this with the resources that we do have at hand. But unfortunately, the sentiment and the opinion that we receive from our council is of important guidance for this council, and I hope that there are the correct number of votes to move forward with the merit employees, since that is not something part of the lawsuit, and we're able to proceed with that, and then we can look at what happens with that lawsuit and, you know, bring this issue back, hopefully, and take care of it at that point. But it is an active lawsuit, and there is a liability for this council if we move forward with that, and I offer this amendment as a way to bridge that gap in the time being and take care of our merit system employees, which is the bulk of the city employees by a large stretch. I think it's 56 employees would not be included, as opposed to the administration's over 2,000 employees that are part of our merit system. And again, I hope that the rest of the council supports this amendment so we can at least do this portion of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Rich. Any further comments? Mr. Richardson?
Okay, I would just like to say that a while back, Mrs. Marion Steinfeld was hired to become the communications officer for the Mobile City Council, and she was fired.
Can't hear you.
Mrs. Marion Steinfeld was hired to become the communications officer for the Mobile City Council, and she was fired by the mayor. So the council, under its authority given to it by the Zogby Act to contracted with her. So we hired her back under a contract. Mr. Mayor alleged that the council didn't have no such authority to do that. And although you see her over here working now, y'all know how much money she's making? Not one dime, because the mayor opposed to it. So conversely, the Zogby Act says for contract employees, the mayor can spend $100,000. Well, he spent almost $1 million on 56 employees. So they're in the same position as Ms. Steinfeld. He doesn't want to give her anything, but he wants us to give his employees something. No. We feel the same way he feels. Our contract employees is not getting anything, and I'm not voting to give his anything.
Any further comments from members of the council? Any further comments from members of council? I'd just like to say, we've received the opinion of our council attorney. I'm not wanting to venture all far from what our legal representation represents to us, that this isn't a good move to make at this time, and I want to make certain that it's stressed that 98%, 99% of city employees will in fact receive this raise. It's only a very select group. Some would say 26, others would say 59, that are impacted by the change that's being offered my colleague, Ms. Rich. And once we have gotten through our legal situation, I'd be in support of doing whatever it's necessary for all employees. I'm not trying to stifle anyone from receiving an appropriate raise in salary, but we want to make certain that what we do doesn't harm us from the standpoint that we find ourselves in legally. So again, any further comments?
Mr. Chair?
Yes?
I really wasn't going to say anything. I think we've probably heard plenty between pre-conference and this meeting, but I echo what Mr. Dave said about the hard work of all of our employees, and the only way these funds really are available is because of what has transpired over the years, because of Mayor Stimson and his staff and all of the employees and the hard work and dedication that they put forward to save the money and make sure that those funds are available. And we just want to thank them all for doing that. This council is very appreciative, and we would like to give everyone a raise because they all deserve it because of the hard work that they do. The unfortunate side, as you have heard, is our attorney has given us information that we should not include that particular category in this. And as Mr. Manzi has said, we have an attorney for a reason, and we listen to her advice, and so that's the direction that we have to go on this. And also, just so that everybody knows, without the amendment that Mrs. Rich offered today, I don't believe that anyone would be getting a raise at all, because I don't believe the amendment to the budget would have passed eyes without this particular amendment offered by Mrs. Rich, so that at least our merit system employees can get the raise. And I'm very hopeful that as we go forward, that we will be able to agree to a raise for everyone, because I really am very hopeful that the litigation, the mediation will end and everything will be resolved, and everyone will get the much-deserved raise very soon. So that concludes my comments, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Again, any
Yes,
further comments?
I would just like to say that in 2015, it came before this council to either the city council to vote for a penny raise under the former mayor, because the economy went under in 2008. It expired in 2015. And we could either let it stay expired, or we can keep it going. The council voted to keep it going. It was vetoed by the mayor. This council overrode the veto. This is 2020. I want you to figure it out. The penny generates $32 million per year. For 5 years, that's $160 million. Wasn't because employees saved them. No. If you deduct the penny from the budget, we wouldn't have a dime. It was the hard work of this council who put their careers on the line to extend the penny. That's why we have money to do all the things in these neighborhoods. That's why we have money to give our employees a raise. If you take the penny out, we wouldn't have the money. Just want to make that clear.
Any further comments from my colleagues on council? So we have a motion and second on Ms. Rich's amendment.
Yes.
To the item. So we'll vote on the amendment. Again, any further comments? Not, all in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
So the amendment passes with 5 in support, 1 in opposition.
Right.
So now we'll vote on the item as amended. Any discussion?
Yes, Vice President Manzi.
Mr. Small?
Yeah, I had mentioned in pre-conference and asked the mayor and his administration. We know we had heard a couple weeks ago that the fire department in Houston, Texas, was laying off firefighters, and that the fire chief here in Mobile was going to recruit. The issue at hand is that I asked the mayor if there was any kind of way, if they find more funding, and to increase the incentive program of the police department. Heard one of the constituents came down today and talked about, public safety, and I'm a big advocate for public safety, because that is our duty, is to help to protect the citizens of Mobile. But my request was to the mayor is to make the incentive program to become a police officer more greater, because right now the city is short on police officers. So many times I get phone calls about the slow response of policemen coming to different scenes, or when they would call, it's just like there's no response at all, or it's a slow response. Many times I get phone calls about speeding in the neighborhoods where, there are not officers out there ticketing people for speeding, in the neighborhoods. Prime example, we had, a couple fatalities on DIP. And I think that if we have more policemen on patrol, we will have speeders to slow down throughout the whole city of Mobile. and the response time of policemen will be greater than what it is today. So I am putting it out there again and asking the mayor and his administration if there are other funding sources out there to make the public safety more pleasant and pleasing for people who want to come and join the police department. Because again, the public safety is our top concern. And also, I don't want to see the day where we have the Alabama Army National Guards come here and patrol our city because we don't have officers on our streets. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Are we about to vote on the?
We're reading the
On
motion.
the item as
As amended.
I oppose for reasons I stated the amendment, but I will support the amended resolution. And hopefully it will result in raises for the rank and file merit employees.
Yes, sir. Any further discussion? If not, let's vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item passes as amended.
21445, authorized contract with PPM Consultants for annual groundwater monitoring statistical evaluation for Lad Peoples Stadium. 21446, authorized contract with Hughes Plumbing and Utility Contractors for Canal Street wall repairs, southeast corner of Broad Street and Canal Street, and southeast of Canal Street and Washington Avenue. 21447, authorized contract with Thompson Engineering for pedestrian bridge over Water Street. 21448, authorized contract with OHC Inc. to provide non-workers' compensation related occupational health services. 61449, authorized execution of memorandum agreement arising out of on-the-job injury of Benjamin McKenna. 60452, support the Healthy Alabama Plan.
Moved.
Second?
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? I'd like to offer a commentary on 21446. This is much needed repair to the walls is located there at Broad Street and Canal Street in the southeast corner of Canal and Washington Avenue. Both of them hit one, I believe, a vehicle, lost control and damaged one section of the wall. The other sections of the wall, there's been trees and roots that have protruded and have caused this wall to come in disrepair. And I am appreciative of all that's going on with Ms. Harden and the Architectural Engineering Department to make certain that this particular wall is repaired and up to standard. I'm not a big proponent of walls in general, but this wall I do want to see go up and be sustained, and so I'm appreciative of all of these efforts to make certain that this wall is secured. On 6452, I'm appreciative that we're actually going to be in a position to support and send a resolution of support to our legislative colleagues in the Alabama House and Senate, supporting the Healthy Alabama Plan. You don't know the value of needing quality health insurance and health assurance until something happens to you or someone in your immediate family. There are resources that are readily available to assist hundreds of thousands of our fellow Mobilians, and I'm happy that we're going to be able to send a resolution of support for this particular plan. Any further comments? If not, let's vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Items passed unanimously.
Consent resolutions be introduced, 08453 through 03476.
Motion to suspend the rules and take consideration of resolution 08453 through 03476.
Second.
With the exception
Of.
37455 and 37456.
Okay.
Right. Yes, ma'am. Is there a second? Yes. Probably motion is second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? And if you take as many of them as together, it'd be helpful. Yes, ma'am, thank you.
08453, approve purchase orders for requisitions over 7,500 for the week of May 6. 08454, approve item-based bid. 37457, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a retail beer, table wine on-off premises license for Food Mart on Spring Hill Avenue. 40, 458, 459, 460, 461, 462, 463, 464, 465, 466, 467, 468, and 469, 470 are fixing costs for securing structures and fixing costs for demolition of structures. 58, 471, and 472 are declaring weeds noxious, Group 1591, and assess costs for removal of weeds, Group 1588. 60, 473, and 474 are determining expenditure of discretionary funds for contribution to the Opportunity for Entertainers and Performing Arts, and Inverness Homeowners Association serves a public purpose and approved payment. 03476, appoint Jim Wagner to the Architectural Review Board.
So move.
Second.
We'll probably move to second. Any discussion? Not all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Items passed.
CIP resolutions being introduced, 21477 through 21480.
Urgent to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 21477 to 21478.
Four.
Is there a second?
480.
480.
480.
No, I'm,
Say it again.
well, I asked that 21480 be moved to CIP,
21480.
but I'm not asking that it be voted on today. It can later.
I did move it.
I know, but it doesn't need to be voted on today.
Oh.
It can hold over.
Okay.
The John Walton one, Greenwich Hills?
Yeah,
is that
because
what
that's
you're
$227,000
talking about? So, okay.
So it's been motion and second. Any discussion?
to take up 477 and 478 today.
Right.
Second.
Been properly second. Any discussion?
No.
Well, on 21478, this is a part two of the playground amenities that we're adding
All
at
right,
Rigby
now.
Park. It's going to be a first class.
We need to take them up. We need to vote to take them up.
That's what you just did, right?
No, a second.
He just seconded, and
Right.
we
We
didn't.
didn't
we
vote.
haven't-
We didn't
discussion.
vote to take them up as a first read.
Right, okay, so, is there any discussion?
No.
Well, that's what I was doing, discussing.
Just suspending the rules.
Right,
Suspend the
we're going to vote to suspend the rules?
But you're
All
gonna
in
call it out
favor?
again.
I got,
We back to the original.
all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes, ma'am.
21477, authorized contract with Star Service of Mobile for Mobile Museum of Art, glycol cooler replacement. 21478, authorized contract with SC Stagner Contracting for Rickaby Park Playground.
So,
Second.
Probably move to second, any discussion? I'd like to discuss 21478.
right ahead.
21478 is a contract with Stagner Contracting, so that we can move forward with stage two, phase two of the playground amenities there at Rickaby Park. Rickaby Park is a nice little pocket park there in the middle of the Rickaby area, District 2. For many years, it was just a vacant swath of land, but now we've added a nice playground, we've added a basketball court. I'm going to ask that Ms. Steinfeld would work with us so that we can have a grand opening for those amenities and also for the basketball court that we're opening on the MLK area. There's just so much progress occurring from a recreational standpoint in District 2, and I'm proud of it. Let's keep the work going. Any further discussion?
Yes, Vice President.
Mr. Small.
Yes, I see that this is a CIP resolution that's just being introduced. And as I look at the amount, it's over $50,000. But I think I'll let it slide today.
Thank you for letting it slide. The whole of that room, Mr. John Williams is not here, and we're gonna vote on it today, John, if you're watching.
And I'm gonna tell him too.
We are voting on this item today, John Charles Williams, wherever you might be. With no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Items passed.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 01479 through 21482.
By council rules, these resolutions will lay over for 1 week.
And Madam City Clerk, I would like to be added as a sponsor of 0179.
Okay.
Thank you. And 21480 as well, as a sponsor, please. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Announcements. Mr. Councilman Williams asked that I announce for the information of his constituency that he is en route to Virginia Tech to retrieve his son, John Paul, things as he finishes his first academic year of college. That's why he is absent today.
Thank you. Congratulations, Mrs. John Paul. Congratulations, John Paul. Keep up the good work. We're in announcements.
Yes, we are.
Mr. Daves? No announcements. Mrs. Gregory?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Last week, I was part of a ceremony to rename the Cuddy Road Boys and Girls Clubs in honor of Bernie Malkov. You all probably know Bernie. His wife, Barbara, was the executive director of finance for many years here at the city. And Bernie has been very involved in a lot of community activities, in particular the Boys and Girls Clubs. So it was a terrific honor for him and a nice and very, very pleasant surprise for him to see his name on the sign and to be a part of that. So I was very happy to help honor Bernie Malkov in that way, and it's very deserving for Bernie to name the club after him. Also, yesterday, I participated in a news conference in my district in front of a property that the city owned to showcase how we are using plexiglass in windows to help secure properties. We all were able to highlight the success of the program that the city has now in trying to resolve blighted issues. The city is making a lot of great headway, and it's just really good to see that. The nearby residents were also very pleased with the way this particular house looks since it has been secured. And the good news is now that it has been secured and some improvements, some very basic improvements made, it can now go on the rolls and be sold. So was really happy to be a part of all of that. And also, if you have not seen yet, Memorial Day, of course, coming up, and we have an announcement about trash collection. If your trash collection falls on Mondays, Memorial Day, you will not have trash collection because it is a city holiday and there will be no makeup day. So we want to make sure to get that out to all of our constituents. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. Mr. Paul from the 3rd District.
Thank you, Vice President Manzi. This week this is a busy week for me to go around and speak to many youth. Last evening, I had an opportunity to speak to the Mobile Mentoring Group at the Mobile Public Library downtown, youth from all across the city. It was a great opportunity to hear their future endeavors, and it was great for me to tell them about mine as I was growing up in my experience as a businessman and also as a politician. Tomorrow we'll be speaking at the Battle House Hotel to a bunch of seniors that are graduating, and that will be tomorrow morning at 9:00 a.m. for seniors breakfast. So very great time I have with many youths across the city this week, helping them to promote for them to be better citizens for tomorrow. Also would like to remind the citizens of District 3 that if you have any overgrown grass, blighted property, please call 311. I'm still receiving a lot of phone calls and thinking I can just wave a wand and cut grass and fix up the blighted house. I cannot do that. I forbid any council member for doing that. As soon as you called me, I had to turn back around and reach out to 311 myself. So again, if you have any blighted piece of property, overgrown grass, please dial 311 or 208-5311. Again, you are more than welcome to contact me, but again, I do the same process as you can do as a citizen, and that is dial 311. And again, remember that District 3 is one of the places where things are happening. Thank you, Vice President Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Small, with the district. We're now here from Ms. Rich.
Thank you.
From the 6th District.
Well, thank you very much. I believe this date is now set, and I'll announce it on May 25th, which is a Saturday. We'll be opening and having the ribbon cutting for the new splash pad at Medal of Honor Park. I hope my colleagues will join me, not necessarily in bathing suits, since it's more encouraged for children. And this will be May 25th, Saturday, and we are going to see the tile wall, and it's going to be called Splash Ground Express, to keep it in name for the playground that's already up there, and we're very excited about opening it up and letting children and families enjoy that newest amenity in our city. So again, I hope to see you on Saturday on the 25th of May at 9 a.m. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Rich. Mr. Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On last Thursday, we had a terrible thunderstorm, and I scheduled my road meeting on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock at the Forest Hill Elementary School. I went up there in a storm, and I was expecting to go in and leave out because no one would be in attendance. Had over 25 people to show up in that storm. Ended up with a tremendous meeting, just an outstanding meeting, and I want to just commend the people up in the Moffitt Road area of District 1 for coming out and showing an interest in your community, and that's what it's going to take to make the changes that you want to see. Get involved. Come and make your desires known and find out what is going on. Lots of great information was passed along. I want to announce that on Thursday, June the 20th, I will be in Trinity Gardens with the Trinity Gardens Community Meeting. That meeting will be held at the Dodge Community Center at 6 o'clock. I'm asking all our citizens to please come out. We're going to have someone from the engineering department to talk about ditch closures, and he's going to have a list of all of the ditches we're going to close this year. We're going to have lots of presenters talking about job opportunities, and normally what happens is I have these great people to come in, and I don't have any young people there that's, to express an interest in these jobs. So I am announcing way ahead of time that I'm going to have Walmart, Ulster, Bishop State, a bunch of companies coming, and they're going to be talking about job vacancies and what you need to do to apply. Please try and get your young people living in your house, try and get them out so they can get some information. Bishop State will pay you to train. You don't have to pay to be trained. They will pay you to come and be trained. Come and get some skills, go and get one of these good jobs and live happily ever after. So jobs and job training will be up at the top. I've invited the new director of our Park and Recreation Department to come out. So she has a lot of things planned for the area. I've invited the recruiter for the fire department to come out because they're looking for new firemen. So I invited the recruiter out to tell the citizens what they need to do to come on board as a new firefighter. We have a lot of new projects planned for year 2021 from our CIP funds. I have a list of those so you would know exactly what to expect this year from the CIP project. All in all, I expect to have a great meeting in Trinity Gardens on June the 20th at 6 o'clock in the Dutch Community Center. Also like to announce that on this Sunday at 4 o'clock, I am invited to give the baccalaureate address to the Hillcrest High School in Evergreen, Alabama. That's my hometown. I was born in Memphis, but the county seat is Evergreen. That's where the big city is. We got about 3,500 people living in the big city. But anyway, they have invited me to come and talk to the graduates at 4 o'clock Sunday. I am looking forward to going home. So I want all of the people in the Evergreen area to know I plan to be there ahead of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Any further announcements? I just want to make certain that the residents of the Down the Bay and Africatown Plateau community know that I have communicated with Governor Kay Ivey and all of the impacted leaders relative to the Mobile River Bridge. We think it's important, and I brought the issue up at one of our recent community meetings, of some semblance of a community benefit agreement be in place for those two communities, as we have to bear the brunt of this bridge being built and it dramatically impacting the daily lives of those residents in those two communities. So I'm hopeful that that will be a discussion that will take place. I know there's a lot of back and forth relative to tolls and expenses from the state and from a federal perspective. And I hope as we have that larger discussion, that we will have the discussion of how it will impact these two historic communities as we build what some estimates would say is almost $2.5 billion bridge. So we look forward to having that continued dialogue. I want to make certain that you're aware that my office is on top of that issue. We'll have a series of community meetings planned for the summer as we get ready for the implementation of CIP year 2020 and 2021. A lot of progress is being made, and yet we still have a long way to go. Working for you in District 2. If I can be of any help, 509-4239. lmanzi@citymobile.org. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, you name it. I am not running from the citizens that I represent. I'm proud to be the District 2 councilperson, and probably in one of the most transformative terms in the city of Mobile. There's progress going on all over this city. There's progress going on all over. Even with this raise, there are many communities, neighboring communities, that cannot and are not in a financial position to give raises, and we're having disagreements on just how many employees to give the raise to. That's a good disagreement to have. And so we're disagreeing on how did we come up with all this extra money. Some say it's belt tightening. Others say it's because of the penny. We know what the real deal is. It's been because we've done both. We had not extended the penny, and if there were not subsequent belt tightening, we would not be in the financial position that we're in. So I'm appreciative of the colleagues that I have to work with this administration. Let's continue to move the city forward. Any further?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis?
I would just like to make it absolutely clear that I agree with you 100% that we had to have both the extension of the penny and the belt tightening.
And I'm so glad that you find yourself agreeing with me so much these days, Councilman Davis. Difference, you know, if you really want to know what the difference is, it was when he joined this council. That's right. Everything got better when we got here. I just put that out there. Any further?
Look at us. It's like looking in a mirror.
100%.
We got salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper, that's right. Any further discussion? If not, do I hear a motion?
Second.
It's probably motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The meeting is adjourned. I will.